Hi.
Okay.
What's up? Can a love come up in your crib?
It seems the video covering the alpha got way more folks seeing it than I expected, if I'm going to be completely honest. And thanks for that. But you're here for a reason, assuming you saw the alpha video. Now you may be wondering about the thumbnail. Assuming I didn't change it for whatever reason, or the thumbnail you saw had the icon showing user 2006, you might recognize it as the funny meme with the lyrics of songs saying, "I used to pray for times like these." You may wonder why I chose that. It's very simple, because every issue I rant Ed about for minutes, that piled up to such a mess, I ended up making a 7-minute side tangent saying Alter Ego was better, which really only counts if you the viewer thought Alter Ego was a bad game too. The alpha that was garbage. We're all fixed or improved upon. That's the first time I've ever seen it happen for a Roblox game. Okay, well there's a few issues, and god damn it if it's not somehow even more infuriating than the alpha, if you recall the 22 testers thing. But let me show you this cool montage.
Oh shit! Ah! Step off! Oh shit! They're jumping me! They're jumping me!
Can I start off with the skins? Please let me start off with the skins. Holy ball knowledge. Okay, obviously we have Boisvert from Oriole. Wait, no, that's the opposite fuck. I think I forgot how many days it's been since it snowed, which is like 0 days as I was writing this part. I don't get snow often. Oh yeah, the skins fuck. There's these two that pair together with Recteg and Xenomorph. I know Xenomorph's skin in this duo is named Ludwig, at the very least. They apparently originated from an obby on Obby creator titled Creature, which is honestly very cool. I even tried to search it and play it myself. It sent me through a rabbit hole of my own obbies from ages ago that all aged horribly because I haven't touched that game since like 2023. There's also like 3 skins that I think reference some old Roblox myth. False Angel User has a special LMS theme with Alice Doombringer, who I think is like lore-wise a sibling somehow from the comments I saw on the said LMS theme, and a different special LMS theme for under alias Recteg. And oh my god, take a listen. Okay, well they do the fucking bias skin LMS shit, which we'll talk about in the issues later on, but still they're so awesome. User 2006 just has really good skins to make up for Xenomorph having like 2, where one is just him but black, and the other is the Obby creator guy, where his theme is just fairly more intense original Xenomorph's theme. A non-user or a sniper's mom over here looks cool as shit, and I use the skin basically almost all the time. She has pretty cool music, and whenever the last survivor is basically any snipers, there's a honestly fire LMS. It reminds me of something I swear to God I thought of instantly the moment it kicked in, but I forgot what it was. Can someone comment random stuff with music similar? So I might recall it. Okay, for a little side tangent. Snipers and like 3 of the survivors in this game are basically just dev team member self-inserts. Now I, of course, have a literal angel of a mother. I still cuddle with her like a little baby despite the fact I'm very sure 95% of the people who have ever seen a video from me would call me a literal unk. So I'm fairly biased, I guess you could say, but me personally, I wouldn't make myself inserts lore be having an abusive mother who can apparently manifest in my Roblox game, or whatever. Maybe he's like, I shouldn't make assumptions, but I mean like a what, why did you do this, sorry. I just find it confusing. Okay, back to the user skins. There's like 3 with different themes, and oh yeah, assimilation. I don't know how to explain it, but they could have easily fucked up and made it look like any generic weird core Ion Shadow monster. But if you removed the text from the icon and didn't show the skin name or description, I somehow would have went, oh hey, is that assimilation from the Colin Lock 16 series still? I gotta give credit for that. That's pretty cool. Glass 2006 is pretty goofy, but I like the fit, and the Umbrella Man has a nice intro and theme, I guess. User 2006 as a character has gotten improvements to his moveset outside of his former self from Decoded Collective. He has 2 new abilities. Firewall Claws makes him unable to attack, but wherever he goes leaves fire for long enough that you can use it twice, and the first set of fire will still be there. And Fill Blood gives him highlights on every survivor and a speed boost at the cost of taking damage. Don't worry, I see this as ridiculous too, but we'll get there. Meanwhile, Geometry_Squared's replacement, Xenomorph, who isn't the monster from the Alien films as the word Xenomorph, didn't come from that series for whatever reason has the name Rockfist for his M1, when he clearly is not Rock unless he has a paint job done on the non-eye side of him. But he also has 2 new actual abilities. Giant's Grasp has a tiny hitbox and is god fucking nigh impossible to get right. But if you do, you can throw survivors off, which is admittedly really funny, and Encased Illusion, which allows him to set a spot to teleport it later, which also causes damage to anyone near it when he does so. I think he also gains highlights on people nearby the spot, just as an extra fuck you. Due to the map being remade, it's a lot more open, and therefore I think the spikes work far better. Speaking of the map remake, it's much better now in my personal opinion, because you can actually see shit and not everything looks the same. The Void, which was the water in the alpha that instantly killed you, now does like 60% of your health and teleports you to a survivor spawn point that's somewhat close to a killer, I think. It also highlights you to them, which is admittedly kind of funny seeing a corpse be highlighted, because I still think it does too much punishment for the survivor. I'm fine with it teleporting the killer to their spawn point and dealing a decent amount of damage. It really does not help for user 2006 SKC later, but you know, I hear a lot of things, mainly my actual comments on a Last Eternity video, that it's horribly designed and Xenomorph gets stuck on everything, but it's really like one section, that little like weird bridge place near the big teapot man statue. I think you just have to play more carefully moving as him. In games like Forsaken, there's usually specific sections of the map you see as more important. Think of the castle and the rock structure in the middle of Brandon Works. The alpha map basically really only had this one little middle bit where everyone went, and I guess the upstairs. Meanwhile, I can easily list multiple sections of the beta map. This part where everyone usually comes together, the 3 ways to get upstairs, this little area with the big teapot, the bridge, this upper area upstairs, and that's basically it. But compared to the alpha, it leaves it dead in a ditch. There's also this one spot that you can leap over as a normal size that Xenomorph struggles. Of course, he could still jump to it, but you could also easily just attack him, and that could launch him off into the void. I like this a lot because it shows different strategies, or I don't formulate things into words. Okay, I want to get over this quickly before the morons say, they ain't gonna let you hit, bro. I want to cover the survivors too real quick, and oh my god, thank you. So much hovering over the abilities tells you what they do, and so does the shop first thing when you click on the characters while the skins are off to the side. Rectag is your DV replacement, but can no longer switch types to speed boosting or healing others slowly. However, his Lantern Flash will always boost the survivor's speed if they're near him, and he can only place a torch down that can heal around him. Killers can break it. I'm very aware. Funny tech here. You can actually place them on teapots and break them to make the torch float forever. He also gains a new charge move, where he just rams himself into the killer to disable their abilities for a few seconds. Since he has a special LMS with Xenomorph because they're replacement characters, I figured I'd talk about how they finally made it longer. If you recalled, the special LMS themes back then were 1 minute and 30 seconds long compared to the 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. In beta, Recteg and Xenomorph's LMS last for 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Doombringer and User 2006 get a 2 minute and 30 second LMS for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like the character with more stuns and defense capabilities against the person who can't throw you off the map should be longer, but I don't know really. Snipers is really fun to play on his side. He's a fucking nightmare as the killer if you don't know where he's coming from, but I'll get there. He has no real change, I think, but his NVG goggles no longer force him in first person. Sleepless is just kind of bad. Compared to everyone else who got upgrades after replacements, they kind of just get nothing special. I mean, the Oriole skin is fire, but still. Actually, I feel like that the Sunny S passive of 40% fall damage no longer exists, so it's not like the PAL can tank anything or whatever, not that it would really matter, because killers don't take fall damage. Roche's replacement. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to pronounce or type in the text-to-speech voice for it to pronounce, so I'll just say his name's Alt for now. Alt's wall has barely been changed other than I think he takes longer to place it down now. But he can now also upgrade it to take more damage than normally. This makes it a bit worse for the killers, but doesn't really change anything about the survivor's side getting cock-blocked by the Wall of Doom. But he does have a new ability titled Sticky Stud where he can place a fucking bomb on the killer. I think getting hit before it blows up disarms it on the killer, but I don't know, I never bothered doing that. Doombringer is User's replacement, and dear God, someone put a stop to him instantly. His paintball gun has become a full-blown rocket launcher with 2 hitboxes. One is the smaller one that actually stuns, and the second, I think, just pushes them away because it's a fucking rocket launcher. Meanwhile, his sword is practically the same, except it's a banhammer. Doombringer being a retired war general is quite a change for a reinterpretation of the admin character, but it's kind of funny, so I'll let it go. I mean, I don't have power over what makes a good reimagining of a Roblox character, so whatever. And I guess all the Survivor skins I didn't mention are nice. Mirror Doombringer looks nice, I suppose. And I like using the scene skin for Sniper. She low-key iced the fuck out, and I can get behind the whole scene core thing after I find out what it actually was. From a fucking video detailing why Ember from Befriend the Retro Slop is worse than Makima Chainsaw Man. So I guess that's the most of my glazing I can get right off the way. Oh yeah, I guess the developers are also chill too. I had the owner and Xenomorph's creator comment on my last video, and it seems like I and the ARG/web series wiki, where I got the misinformation from about stuff like Meltic apparently, are just flat out wrong. Apparently Meltic said the N-word about slash to something slash someone else in Damaro. The Roche's owner found out about it and apparently pulled permissions. Other stuff like the alleged harassment of a child and the whole Ohio Vine thing are being planned to get covered in a Google document. I'm glazing so I can get my exclusive skin submission in the game. It's just me, but Doombringer because I got the RPG and shit, and I'll let you make it pay to lose is shit. Oh yeah, the whole character thing shit, I see some people say OC slop, and I have to say, be for fucking real, dude, are we not allowed to replace things anymore? OCs being there instead of ARG characters mean they're more likely to last past a single version of the game and allows for more unique lore instead of like, oh, this one got shot 24.6% more stronger than, when they usually get shot in secret unlisted vid9 by evil ARG man and fucking died. Never mind the fact that they're not actually OCs and are like actually just dev members, which I think is less stable in case they leave, because at least sometimes they'll let the OC stay, but still. Sorry, I just never got it like, dude, if you're only here for the ARG characters, or whatever, then piss off and go play Poem by 1400 or whatever, just like.
Please shut the fuck up about it. I get it, you like mental illness.
Oh yeah, post saying, I finished the script in the community, post me here. Snipers wasn't said to be from anything back then in the alpha, but now he's the only guy on the sign. Now, of course, we have mentioned that he's on the team of the game's development. So I think they're now making like a web series /ARG for him afterwards. It's like Media Malleus situation in Pwned. I think. Pretty sure they were like an OC for that turned ARG/web series afterwards. But I absolutely love stuff like this. Seeing new stories some others could enjoy outside of the game sprout out like this is an awesome thing to see, you know? Especially since they have backing up from the game, shouting them out too. It's honestly very wholesome and inspiring. So cool, man. With that being said, that's as much as I have to say about all the things I figured make Eternity's beta superior. Now I have some issues with it still, and it kind of evens it out for some people according to my comment section. To me, it makes me absolutely livid. The game is survivor-sided. I see people saying it seems impossible to win LMS as the survivor, but it's really not. If you recall what I said last time, I think last man standing scenarios should be killer-sided with no exceptions unless it's some crackhead shit like Die of Death Showtime. Your team failed. Either give it your all or give in to the wrath of the killer. That being said, I think the Recteg versus Xenomorph LMS is fine enough, I guess. Xenomorph's moves can easily get to Recteg if he messes something up, so I say it's at the very least somewhat like a 50-50. That being said, it is much harder to beat Xenomorph in LMS. This is mainly because, guess what? He can fucking teleport due to Encased Illusion. while user 2006 is stuck having to run across, and you can just run away to keep the distance. If you are snipers, you can just use the NVEG to keep track on him for basically all times, while his only way of highlighting you risks his life. We have to talk about user. As much as I love playing as him, holy shit, what the fuck were you guys doing letting Xenomorph get a whole ass teleport and highlights near his teleport spot, while user 2006 gets fuck all? Fill Blood is his highlight move. It speeds him up as well. The cost is that he takes damage. And do you know how easy it is for some people to kill anyone playing him? I've counted a decent few comments talking about how easy it is for user 2006 to die, and I entirely blame it on Fill Blood's existence. Now you may be thinking that a speed boost and highlights on all survivors with no downside is kind of bad, and I'd agree if there wasn't for two things. One, you could just make the cooldown longer and make it more obvious, like a loud sound cue to alert survivors. Or two, there's already a game that does this thing perfectly fine. Yes, I'm talking about Forsaken for the like 9th time. As terrible as that game's team is, they somehow do a lot of things right for comparisons here. 1x1x1x1 has Unstable Eye, which, wouldn't you know, speeds you up and highlights all the survivors to you. But it has a loud sound cue, a pretty long cooldown, and it blinds you a bit. This game already blinds you if you get hit by some non-stun attacks like Sleepless Roundhouse Kick. Why the fuck didn't you just do this? Or heck, make it so you can't do parkour shit like wall hop as a trade-off for the time being. I assume user 2006 is supposed to be the starter killer for new players to try out first to get a feel of things. Now, I haven't made an ASIM other than a few random short notepad documents because I had insane ideas I couldn't just let rot in my head, but even I made two pretty simple killers that are intended as starters for two different ASIM game ideas first, because they're pretty easy to play, I think. In my opinion, at least, I don't know. But I know damn well I would never be caught dead making an ability actively punish you like this. Harken and Die of Death is the only one I see doing something similar, but guess what? That's done well because you're meant to be a resource management character banking on going crazy with your rage mode, not a rushdown killer. Imagine if every time Pursuer howled, he vomited blood or some shit and took like 200 damage. That's not fucking good, is it? I know user has some form of lifesteal, because I noticed I got to full health after killing some people, but that's clearly not enough. I know I've only died once in this game as user despite my 8 hours playtime, where most of my killer matches was spent maining them, but that's because I'm just low-key GOAT. But I'm aware not everyone is going to learn like I do fairly quickly, and they're going to die either way. Doombringer is especially blamed because, I mean, look at him, but snipers should be crucified on a cross too, like you can snipe dudes from across the map. I get that he's meant to do that, but at least add some indicator if he's dead-ass that far away. I sniped a Hallows Eve user twice on this part, behind the weird Teapot Man statue. And he was at the fucking one of the places you use to get to the higher area of the map. Like, what the fuck, at least with Chance and Forsaken, I'm relatively sure you could somewhat hear it, and the map isn't the size of my mother. And also, you know his gun fucking explodes sometimes. And don't think just because the water is now a void dealing like 60% damage to you doesn't mean it gets off scot-free too. I've grown to realize that it'd kind of suck if a survivor had no punishment for falling off, since you could easily just extend chase forever like if you didn't have fall damage for survivors. But God, would this game benefit off of having numbers on your health bar? Of course, I bring up the void thing since it feels like it's literally inconsistent on how much damage it does, and I'd figure out it hopefully isn't randomized if I knew. But it's also not like you break like the retro style, because the little like UI of abilities at the bottom are based off of like the 2013 item bar, while the health and stamina is based off of like 2009 health. I'm pretty sure fucking Reckless does this too, despite the more faithful UI look. Okay, well, the only time I played it, it happened that an admin joined and disabled all cooldowns, so like maybe they did something else, but whatever. Also, user's overdrive move is like a fucking paradox. It's a simple enough high-risk, high-reward thing. Longer you go, more damage, but you risk running out of time and just ragdolling for like 3 seconds. Simple enough, but good luck, because you need the turning skills to win every Mario Kart tournament in history to be able to bypass its biggest counter. Circling one or two things. No, seriously. It's that easy, I swear to God. Also, his hitbox is just behind him. Like, I figured it might have been my ping like 2 hours in, so I checked, and I was on around 200 ping. I still won games with him, so I just kept figuring it was ping, but no, I got into a 30-ish ping server, and it still went behind me. I remember one of the only times I lost was the Anon User versus Snipers LMS. I used Overdrive, and I swear to God, I was literally practically doing a fucking successful fusion dance with him, but the hitbox did not get him. Literally, I swear to God, I don't have footage, but holy fuck, what is this? Oh yeah, that's right, the LMS thing. Remember how I liked the beta for fixing the issue where the special LMS themes were shorter and, therefore, far more survivor-sided? Well, fuck you skins are here to do the stupid shitty bias thing. Both the special LMS themes with False Angel User are 2 minutes compared to the 2 minutes 15 normally, and the 2 minutes 30 he should have with Alice, because that's a Doombringer skin. Anon User versus Snipers is 1 minute and 45 seconds. And Snipers has, you know, the fucking NVEG to keep track at all times, and the sniper that reaches from fucking space if it could aim vertically. Of course, I think Xenomorph is a worse match against Snipers because he's a bigger target that'd struggle more dodging the shot from far away, but holy fucking hell, what is this shit? At the very least, the bias skin LMS themes are longer, which granted is fucking stupid, but at the very least, it wasn't actively making it actually pay to lose beyond some generic bullshit like having voice lines or whatever Forsaken fans would try to tell you like it actually fucking matters at all. Like, have you seen some comments on like fan-made solo themes for Outcome Memories, saying that there should be a way to purchase different solo themes to play despite the fact the fan theme is like a full fucking century shorter or longer than the actual one in game? You know, that's not cool. I kind of get double trouble though. 2 killers is actually a bit of a problem. I think it should be a bit longer, not as long as the like base one, but still. Oh yeah, real quick, I just remembered. There was this one time I was playing User and I got an LMS with a normal Doombringer. He was upstairs, so I went up and figured he probably went somewhere else. I didn't use Fill Blood because I was low on health and scared I'd just fucking die. I heard a guy in the chat say he definitely was not down, so I hesitated a bit before thinking he was going to keep me up there and leapt down. Eventually, you won't die if you use the highlight later from him, and I finally decide to use Fill Blood. The fucking Doombringer was still up there, at full health, hiding in this one small fucking spot. Now I could have turned around, but you already heard me tell you I figured he went down. Why in the fuck would I turn around, especially when there's a wall fucking hiding him there? Do you see why having highlights cost health in a game where killers dying is now actually a possible thing that might happen the most out of any ASM I've seen ever is a problem? Oh, and also apparently Xenomorph has another fuck you to User because I heard that he apparently has a hidden passive where he just fucking becomes immune to stuns after taking too many. Yeah, cause fucking sure man, why not? Now to be fair, this is most likely because of a bug or some lag thing for the commenter's perspective, or maybe they just didn't see the little like half spawn thing that indicates they're stun immune for a bit the few times they did try to somehow figure that he might have some weird passive like that. But still, if this is true, it just goes to show. There's still like 22 testers for this game, by the way. You're telling me not one of them thought it was kind of stupid how User had to risk his life to get highlights, while Xenomorph gets to fucking teleport, and the teleport spot highlights survivors nearby? Or you know fucking the rest of this shit I've had T.O. say. Okay, well I found this on the Discord from the like Jane Eternity person, and I'm sure they was joking, but even with all the absolute glazing this game has gotten, I feel like that's unfortunately true. It kind of reminds me of like games like Jujutsu Infinite, I guess. That game had testers. You paid like 30 quid for it in real world money, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever, but despite that, all the testers were most certainly using mommy's credit card because they were just straight glazing the game and giving no feedback, while actual people who tried to actually test the game was muffled out and ignored. It's like how people are saying Outcome Memories testers just did it to have early access for the characters. Like, you can't be telling me there was more than 2 people testing this game outside of the 27 developers. Were all of them for like non-PC playtesting so that the experience would be as best as it could for mobile or PC players? I mean, probably not. I heard the Flowers Whistle mini game didn't work for mobile users. So like, seriously, I love this game now. It's really fun to just kind of have your brain off for a bit and vibe while focusing on being chased. It's not completely miserable like the alpha. But OH my fucking, the issues are so infuriating when you dig deeper, like, oh my god, I forgive this, if there's like 3 devs that tested, but what on earth is this? Also, I think that Bug the Alpha had some times where your own Roblox character could accidentally spawn in the map. Still happens. This could easily be prevented by just having like a black room to teleport people in to pick a character, and then if they're still in the box, either try to teleport them into the map again, or kill them if they're a default player still, and just go sorry wait until we fix that bug. Which, I mean, you wouldn't need to if there was a good amount of testers, because this bug was so common throughout the alpha, you saw it on a bloody Kotze Enac video. Okay, but seriously still, I get you can't fix every bug, especially since Roblox has a funny thing where everything could go well in an exact 1:1 replica testing game. And then when you pour it over 100% fine, suddenly the bug-free warrior can now accidentally delete half a map, but that bug should have been caught. I get some like apparently you just get soft-locked if a dude left during a kill animation, if he was the killer, which I think was probably fixed by now, but still. I just realized this is now likely the same length as the part where I glazed the game. I promise the game's good enough for you to look past all this shit. I went on a ramble because it pisses me off so bad. As one commenter said, any other development team on Roblox would kill to have a 50-man project and make the most ambitious project they can with all that manpower. I would kill for the current dev team. I'm on a fucking make one portal room. Also, I swear to God the parkour system works whenever it feels like it. There's this one wall hop thing I like to do on this ramp thing to the main area everyone goes to hang out with before shit goes to shit, and like 80% of the time, when I tried doing it for even half a second of distance away, it fucking fails and I fall into the void and die. I hear that some don't like it because it takes too much stamina when you do actions like ledge grab and shit, but I think it's fine, and regaining stamina isn't too bad, so you won't have the sweatiest man on the planet perfectly predicting how much stamina you have and criticizing you want to have fun and not thinking on if you have a stamina advantage. Like, dude, just fucking say more stamina, you stupid cunt. Okay, enough rambling, the game's good, and I can let go of these issues for now, because it's fine to play flawed games. Actually, shut up. Hiya, we're doing this again. I want to get to the point quicker, as it's not like the beta is currently closed, so I doubt this video will release exactly when a new update comes out, and suddenly my funny little OC guy Julian is in there somehow. So basically here's one. My Void rework. I think it's fine to keep the damage being that high, but only outside of chase. You're already under threat of the fucking evil man chasing you. And if this game wants it so the Void doesn't take half the credit, then so be it. I think a decent 20% or 25% of your health, if you fall in chase, would work out. At the very least, don't kill them off if not in chase. Also, maybe give the killers like a short boost in power if it happens, like speed or something, just in case. 2. Show numbers for health at the very least. 3. Remove this fuck-ass one spot. 4. Make user more powerful. Get rid of his fuck-ass damage for fill blood and replace for some other downside. Or just fucking make the cooldown longer. And make his dash fuck it, let him be able to fucking fly when using the overdrive dash thing. It'd let him at least catch up to a survivor in LMS on the same pace as Xenomorph somewhat, and allow him to not get completely countered by like 2 nearby things to circle around. Maybe add some 5th ability for him to use at the very least. If you incorporate firewall claws into your playstyle very often, then he's just a zoner now for some reason. Maybe some radioactive burst dash thing to help him rush people down better more. I don't really know. I'm not sure. 5. Fix the skin LMS shit. I'm sorry, but why the fuck can a Doombringer get 2 minutes to live instead of typical 2 minutes and 30 seconds against user 2006? Just because they happen to wear 2 skins of 2 different characters from something entirely unrelated that happens to be collabing with this game? I get making music is hard, especially the absolute bangers that are the False Angel LMS themes, but still. 6. Increase the stun immunity, and most certainly increase the damage immunity. In fact, make damage immunity far longer, I think, but have a different like symbol instead of the weird half-spawn thing for stun immunity to indicate it. 7. Finish up snipers and make it so survivors can phase through alt wall. The characters are fine on their own, I think, Them all working together well can be a nightmare for the killer, which is good, because teamwork should be victory's key in these games. That's the whole fucking point. And I think last of all, you should probably make the little informational sign, like a thing that pops up on the UI and forces you to have to read it for a while before letting you close the game, but with a button to reopen it. The game's self-explanatory enough to me, at least to not warrant much of an actual tutorial, but the sign is very helpful. Honestly, that's about it, I think. Did you know JX1DX1 was apparently planned to be a part of this game? And then misinformation made it sound like he became a dev team member instead. His theme is on YouTube, and funnily enough, this isn't the first time a Fonk song was used for JX1DX1, but he got removed before he could be seen in the game. But yeah, that's really what I think this game needs. And some more characters too. You got 30 developers, and in 3 months, you only got 3 killers out, and had to remove one for being on crack or something and planning to rework him later. And your beta update didn't really change them besides 2 new abilities for each and giving them a cool new makeover. Now, I'm not saying I could do it myself, but I feel like I could somehow get more done quickly. Although it would require whatever burst consumed me when I said Wrath Path in 3 days with full confidence after Zombie Invasion. I know none of you will get this, but shut up. This game is great. I just think it needs to feel like more than 4 people made it. Not seriously. 174 comments. Granted, about 65 of them were my replies or my own comments, because sure, why not? But that's still about 109 comments from other people who saw it. And it had 3 people who only commented to dispute the Shedlitsky countering 1x1x1x1 thing I mentioned one time, but still. I mentioned before, but the owner, official Eternity account for trailers and shit, and also when the devs who made Xenomorph happened to comment and cleared up a lot of things about the whole drama with Meltic and Ohio Vine and stuff, and I'm inclined to believe them. I even edited up the ARGs/web series article for a fair bit, because holy hell, stuff like that fucking nuked the reputation a bit. And honestly, a lot of my comments were respectful. There was really only one guy going, no, it is alpha game, buddy. The point of alphas aren't to be given feedback for improvement of later releases. There was also really only one comment being flat out just rude, and it's also where I got the OC slop line from, but the rest of the reply thread is fine, I guess. Oh yeah, there's also a funny encounter. I had it'll probably focus in the footage, but I think I found a guy who watched my video. I was talking in chat, and there was a guy who mentioned there's people who hate on this, and I think he mentioned it was on YouTube, and the rest of what he said prior made me think he could have referred to a YouTube video, which could possibly line up with what I made. And as far as I'm aware, there isn't a video that actually hates or criticizes the game really too much that it'd be seen as super negative that I've found. Only positivity, really. That's kind of part of why I made the original video in the first place. I saw a game with terrible choices made, and it was being worshipped. I don't know, man. Maybe there was, but even in some places I'd figure there'd be a more critical mind to things. I just saw nonstop glaze for it. I don't know, man, really. Let me know if you've seen hate for the alpha somewhere else that wasn't mine, or a rage-fueled mess from the whole drama thing that forgot there was a video game to criticize in the first place. Oh yeah, shout out to the 2 comments telling me to lower the music and stopping the flashing text for 0.2 seconds thing. I figured the music was fine, but I'm a fairly good hearer at times, so I suppose that's a reason. I hope it didn't affect this video as much, though. Honestly, that's basically it. Thank you so much for the responses to the original video. I enjoyed making it and replying to comments. So basically, the too long didn't watch of the video is, the beta version of Eternity is a beautiful improvement from the former version, but still presents a lot of infuriating issues that bewilder you the more you remember there was 20 testers for this game. At the very least, it no longer feels like one of those tester builds they would execute you, or if you accidentally showed it to the public. Happy New Year, people. Have a good day. And 500 likes. And I'll take the owner's soul and send him to his own game on some Sonic.exe type shit until he adds me as a Doombringer skin. We got 459 last time. And this video is certainly shorter, I think, so I think more people will watch it. Okay, real quick, I need to mention this. So I checked Discord mentions, and I found this from the Eternity lead dev. Obviously, this is a fandom edit for the arc/web series wiki article on Eternity. For context, the Singularity is the antagonist of Ode to a Vessel. And I found this comment on the page, and considering the administrator's reply acted like they knew this team account was legit, then I assumed what they said was legit, and figured that it was likely there was enough discussion with the Eternity dev team, and Ode to a Vessel characters being added unless Ode to a Vessel does it like Devies. You can do whatever you want, but I will ask you to remove it if drama shit or whatever. That it warranted the Singularity being added to the Scrap Killers list, and Ode to a Vessel team thought so too since they originally added it. So with that context, you can probably realize Cyber is telling me to read what their edit note said. Their edit was just there to remove the Singularity from the list, and the note said they had no clue who the fuck that guy was. Now would I believe it was actually lead dev? But still, they could have clarified this to me in DMS or some shit, or on fandom still. I'm saying this because
The message was in the motherfucking general chat in the official Eternity server.
like not any like small sub server or some shit like my own, because you know I'm on a Discord server, or like some Discord server dedicated to wiki article editing, or whatever they ping me in front of everyone who was on the general chat that day, which granted nobody fucking cared. There was like this one person who just said, "What this on about, loser?" and was only sent the wiki article link and nothing else. But like you couldn't have just hit me up in my DMS. Sorry, I find it really confusing. Like, why was this what you thought was best? Okay, so this game also has a dev killer that's just a fucking PNG of something from Amori. So this is like being baptized or cleansed of your sins. So actually this game is now a soft March 14th, 10. Actually wait, if they have skins for dev killers then I just got an amazing idea for a something skin. Okay, wait, so Z-Star, who I learned that the beta release from his video appearing on my recommended as I was subtitling the alpha video got like Silly Billy. So do they let like some content creators get one dev killer? Because if so,